We're going to start today laying down, as always for this class, but if you prefer to be seated, feel free to do so. Find your comfy laying down spot if you're going to lay down, and we will get started there. Today we are going to be working into opening up our backs, so lots of good stretches for back body work coming your way. And once you lay down, gently find your way to closing your eyes. And we'll take the next couple of moments to allow ourselves to arrive here and now. Take a couple of moments to gently release the day that you had today. Let everything you did fade away into the background. Gently release it and let it go. And take a moment to connect with your why. So your reason for practicing this evening, for showing up. Maybe the reason is to come to a certain state of mind, of body. Maybe you're practicing with the hopes of sending energy or positivity to somebody else. Whatever it is, connect with why you're here tonight. And take a moment to truly grant yourself permission to be here for that reason. Let yourself be here fully for your practice, in your body, on your mat. You made it, you arrived. All you have to do is simply be with yourself for the next hour. There's nothing else you have to do. Allow your body to begin to sink towards the ground beneath you. Starting from head to toe, relax the back of the head down. Soften your shoulders, the back body. Relax the hips and the legs. Soften the arms. Let your body get heavy towards the earth, towards the ground. And begin to feel a sense of lightness in any area that is not in contact with the ground. So areas like the face, the front of the body. Find almost a balanced state of groundedness, yet lightness within and around you. Cultivate a similar state within the mind, letting the mind almost relax, sink, and get heavy. But also cultivate a sense of lightness within the headspace. A sense of ease. And eventually find your way to feeling the breath in your body. Start to notice the feeling of the inhales and the exhales. Maybe you start within the nostrils, taking a couple breaths, just feeling into the rush of air in and out. You could stay there or maybe navigate to feeling the air rush in and out along the backside of the throat. It's just a subtle feeling, but allow your mind to navigate towards it. And possibly lower your awareness to the chest, the heart center, feeling the full extent of the breath in this space. And finally, feeling the breath in the belly, the rib cage. Maybe you can even notice the breath in the back body. So as the lungs expand and contract, that's not only along the front. We can feel the breath along the side body and the back as well. So maybe you take a couple moments, notice if you can feel it there. Take some consciously big breaths, feeling every part of the inhales and exhales within your body, letting yourself arrive for your practice. If you'd like to stay resting on your mat, feeling into every inhale and exhale for practice, feel free to do so. Tonight's about finding what feels good in your body, so please only go to what feels right for you. If at any point during practice you'd like to come back to this state, to this posture, feel free to do so. Again, find just what feels so good for you tonight. If and when you'd like to begin to flow, follow an inhale to reach the feet out towards the front of your mat. Hands will reach up towards the back. Nice, long, full body stretch. On an exhale, begin to hug the knees in towards your chest, wrapping your arms around the legs. And if you'd like, maybe you begin to add a gentle rock side to side, following your breath. If it feels better to stay still, feel free to do so. Listen to your body. Go to what feels good. Stay in the body though. Notice how the back feels, the shoulders, maybe the hips and the legs. Relax the jaw and the neck. Simply breathe. If you're rocking, gently slow down the rocks, making your way back to just a still posture. From here, we're going to make our way up to seated. So your choice, you can begin to rock up and down the length of the mat, or simply roll over and press yourself up. Go to what feels right for you tonight. And once we make our way all the way up to seated, we'll land in an easy seated posture. So that can mean with the legs crossed or extended, totally up to you. And we'll begin our first flow here. So to start, inhale, hands sweep out and around. Clasp the hands at the top. On the exhale, we're going to flip the palms so the palms are facing up to the ceiling. If this feels like too much, keep the palms facing down. Relax the shoulders down the back body. Inhale, can you reach the crown of the head up towards the hands? Exhale, tip it on over toward the right hand side. So you should notice a nice stretch along the left side body. Low belly pulls in as you press that left hip down to the mat. Shoulders continue to pull down the back body. Couple big breaths here. Breathe to what you feel. Relax your jaw as much as you can. Beautiful. Let's take one more big breath here. Inhale, come on up to center. We're going straight to the other side. So exhale, tip it on over towards the left now. Pausing, breathing deeply. Try to consciously press that right hip as much as you can towards the ground. Shoulders, relax down the back body. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Let's take two more big breaths. Relax the jaw, soften the gaze. And on your next inhale, come on up to center. Exhale, float the hands down to the legs. If you need to shake out the shoulders, feel free to do so. Inhale, straighten your legs out in front of you. We're going to move to a forward fold next. Exhale. Inhale, sit up as tall as you can. Press the knees down, pull the toes back towards you. And then exhale, begin to walk the hands down alongside the legs. Pause once you feel a good stretch in the body. And on your next inhale, can you really pull the heart forward, lengthening the back body as much as you can. Maybe you stay here. Maybe the elbows begin to lower towards the mat. Find where this feels like a manageable stretch, somewhere where you can breathe deeply. Continue to press the knees down and pull those toes back towards you, and find that motion of bringing the ribs towards the thighs. So pull the heart forward, breathe deeply. Since we're working into the back body on your inhales, can you feel the back expand? On the exhales, the back softens. Couple more big breaths. Keep the mind in the body. One more full round of breath. On your next inhale, come up about halfway, so that halfway point we lifted up to. And then on the exhale, left hand's gonna come to the outside of the right leg, so both hands on that right side. And you're gonna begin to walk the hands over toward the right hand side. So as far as it feels good for you, maybe you lower the palms down, maybe the elbows lower. We're going for a nice stretch in the side body along the back. So find where you kind of feel that. Lower the left shoulder so they're parallel and in the same plane towards the ground. Continue to press both the knees down, toes pull back towards you, but really keep your mind's eye on keeping that left hip pressing down towards the mat. Relax the shoulders as much as possible and breathe to that left outer body. Notice where you feel the stretch. Stay with it. Again, inhale space and exhale anything that no longer serves you. Soften the jaw. Couple more big breaths. Breathe through what you feel. Let yourself simply be in your body. One more full round of breath. Inhale, gently make your way back to center, and we're going to walk it on over right to the other side. So exhale, both hands to the outside of the left leg now. Keep walking those hands over till you feel like a nice stretch. Maybe you pull the heart forward a bit, gain length in the spine, and your choice whether you lower the hands down, maybe you lower the elbows down. Just find where that works. Go to the point where you just feel that nice opening stretch on the outside of the right body here. Keep pressing the knees down, toes pull back towards you. The legs are working while you're in this stretch. Shoulders parallel with the ground beneath you. So that might mean dropping that right shoulder a bit. That'll exaggerate the stretch, and continue to try to press the right hip down towards the mat. Breathe deeply. You got it. Couple more big breaths. Again, just breathe through what you feel here. Couple more breaths. All right, one more full round of breath. And when you're ready, follow your next inhale to walking the hands back to center. Exhale just to a gentle fold for a moment. And on your next inhale, come back up to seated. Exhale, swing those legs around behind you. Our final posture is child's pose. So inhale, tabletop position, hands and knees, big toes touch, knees spread wide. Exhale, sink those hips back to the heels and let your body drape down. Take some big cleansing breaths here. Maybe you add a gentle sway side to side, rocking the hips side to side. Maybe you even massage the forehead, the third eye down, rocking the head side to side. As you're here, though, continue to keep the mind's eye in the back body. So on your inhales, can you feel the breath expand your back all along the spine? On the exhales, feel the body decompress and lower. Feel the inhales and exhales work down and up the back body. Breathe deeply. Beautiful. You can stay as you are or prop yourself up to watch the recap for that flow. Totally up to you. You can simply listen to my voice if that feels good as well. So for this flow, we started in an easy seat, having the hands above the head and palms possibly flipped up towards the ceiling. We went to a nice side body stretch on each side, breathing deeply, keeping the shoulders down the back body. From here, we extended out the legs if they weren't already extended, and we essentially did 3 versions of a forward fold. First was our classic forward fold. From there, we went to the right hand side, and then we came back, and then we went to the left hand side. We came back to center just for a brief moment to recalibrate, and then made our way to child's pose. So we swung those legs behind us, made our way to hands and knees, tabletop position, and all the way back. So again, for this flow, it was that nice side stretch. Then we made our way to the forward fold, walked our hands to each side of the legs, and then landed in a child's pose. So as you're flowing, keep your mind on your body and what you're feeling. Should be versions of the side and body and the back, so breathe deeply into that. You can do all, none, or some of that flow. Find what works for you tonight, and I'll be here to guide your mind and your awareness. So find what works for you, take the next moments for yourself, and then we'll eventually meet up for our next little flow together. Take your time. And as you work through the back body, if you're continuing on with some or all of that flow, keep anything shoulders and above soft and relaxed. So soften the gaze, the facial expression, relax the neck and the shoulders. Breathe through what you feel. As you're here in your body with your breath, notice if you can stay with one round of breath, so an inhale and exhale for the full extent of the round. So feel the full entirety of the inhale, and then that gradual transition to the full exhale. And just notice what it's like to simply be with one round of breath. And then maybe you try that again, feeling it manifest in the body as you breathe in and out. And when your mind decides to go off on a different track of thinking, just notice where it goes, how you feel. And when you become aware, that moment that you notice the mind has taken you elsewhere, you decide if you want to stay with thinking in the mind, and that's totally fine. Or if you want to come back to the breath, which is fine as well. It's that moment of awareness, that moment of clarity that we look for, and that's the practice. It's the waking up. It's the realizing where the mind is at and making the conscious decision to be here and now, or in the world that the mind takes us to. So practice that waking up effect. Practice that coming to. And let yourself just be. Those are the moments to be celebrated, the waking up. While we don't force them to happen, we notice when they do happen, and we give ourselves a little smile, show ourselves a little love. Breathe deeply, feel the breath in the body. And again, when you find your mind taking you away, notice, and then decide where to go from there. can you feel deeper into the breath? Feel deeper into the body. When we allow ourselves to feel within, the mind softens, it relaxes. As we link it to a present moment activity, we allow ourselves to arrive here and now. And in this very moment, everything is okay. All you are doing is flowing in your body, on your mat. You're simply being here and now with yourself, where all is perfectly fine. Let yourself simply be in your body, to be here and now. If and when you complete the flow that you are doing, find somewhere to rest, to simply be for a couple moments, or continue to flow in ways that feel good for your body. So find what works for you. If you want to add in extra postures, stretches, eventually we'll land in that child's pose, but you have all the time you need. So feel free to continue to move, complete whatever you're doing. Stay in the body, outside of time. Just feel the breath, feel whatever shape you're in within. Let yourself simply be. Again, we will eventually meet up in that child's pose, so if and when you're ready, maybe you make your way there. Totally up to you though, if you want to move on or continue doing what you're doing. Once you reach child's pose, if that's where you're going, take a moment to reconnect with the why you're practicing, why you're here practicing yoga this evening. Let it come into your awareness, to fill your consciousness, and take a couple big breaths, breathing into that. Are you truly granting yourself permission to fulfill your why? Just become aware. Whenever your next inhale arises, gently walk the hands back towards you until you're sitting up all the way on the heels. On the exhale, swing the legs around out in front of you. We're going to do a couple more seated postures before we move on. So legs reach out in front of you. We're going to start with Shavasana, but I'm going to give two options for where we can place the feet. So I want you to feel into your knees and your body to what feels best for you. Option A is bringing the right foot in towards you. The outside edge of the foot is in alignment with the inside edge of the thigh. So classic variation. Now option B, I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what's going on with my foot. Option B, the heel is going to go up towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to place my toes on the ground. So it's a slight kind of pivot here. Heels up, toes on the ground, and then the arc of my foot is actually going to kind of caress, and the heel is going to press in towards the thigh. Now this may or may not work in your body. It's a lot of stretching on the knee, so find which variation works for you. Again, right here, if you can see on the screen, the toes are on the ground, they're kind of bent, heels in towards the thigh. So find what works for you. Totally listen to your body and what feels okay in the knee. Whichever version you go to, on your inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, sternum, center of the chest faces the big toe, and begin to walk the hands down. Inhale, pull the heart forward, lengthen the spine, and exhale, maybe lower a little deeper, listen to your body. Breathe deeply here, and just like we did when we walked the hands side to side, try to keep those shoulders parallel with the ground. So that might mean dropping the right shoulder a little bit further. Should feel some sort of stretch in the outside of the right body here. Keep pressing the left knee down towards the ground, toes pull back towards you. Pull the heart forward and relax the jaw, soften the gaze. Breathe deeply. One more big round of breath here. Beautiful. Inhale, walk the hands back up towards you. Exhale, place the foot now on the ground, knee points up towards the ceiling. Inhale, sit up as tall as you can. Exhale, the left arm wraps around that right leg, and then the right hand is actually going to extend out behind you rather than placing it on the ground like we traditionally do. Inhale, crown of the head lifts up. Exhale, maybe you look over the back, hand looking towards the thumb. Breathe here. Continue to press that left knee down, toes pull back towards you. Gently hug that right knee in towards the chest. Breathe. Maybe on the inhales, you get taller. On the exhales, you twist a little bit deeper. Should feel the core working here, having the hand lifted up off the ground. Relax the jaw, soften the shoulders away from the ear. One more big breath. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, unwind everything and straighten out that right leg. Great job. Let's try the other side. So inhale, Janu Shavasana. So again, outside edge of the foot in alignment with the inside edge of the thigh. Possibly toes come down to the mat, heel lifts. Again, find what works in your knee and your hip and your body. Honor where you're at today. Sit up nice and tall, and on your exhale, just pivot so the center of the chest faces the big toe, and then walk on down. Inhale, can you pull the heart forward even more? Lengthen the back body. Exhale, melt on down. Keep pressing that right knee down, toes pull back towards you. And again, just bring to your mind's eye how your shoulders are feeling. Slightly drop that left shoulder. And again, when you drop it, should light up something in the side body here. So notice what you feel and breathe into it. Couple more big breaths. Can you feel the inhales expand the back body, maybe give you a little massage from the inside out. Exhales, release any tension. One more full round of breath. Inhale, gently make your way back up. Exhale, set the foot down on the mat, knee points up. Inhale, sit up as tall as you can, and then on the exhale, right arm wraps around the leg, and this time, left hand's gonna reach out behind you. Inhale, sit up even taller if you can, and then exhale, look over your back thumb. Breathe deeply here. Keep pressing that right knee down, toes pull back towards you. Again, you should feel the core working here. Every inhale, maybe you try to lift up even higher. On the exhales, maybe you twist just a tad bit deeper. Couple more big breaths. Try to keep the hand in the same line as the shoulder, so keeping it directly extended out. Relax the jaw. One more big breath here. You got it. Beautiful. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, unwind, straighten the leg out. Moving to down dog, inhale, swing those legs out behind you, tabletop position, hands and knees. Exhale, curl the toes under, lift the knees up, and press it on back to down dog. Take a couple moments here. Maybe you pedal out the feet, shift the weight forward and back, side to side. Give your body, the backs of the legs, a nice release. And feel into what's going on within right now. Stay with the breath, stay in the body. Couple more big breaths here. Relax the jaw. Breathe to the low back, to the belly button. And just notice how you feel. Let go of any judgment around your body and what's coming up for you. You're perfect just as you are tonight. Whenever your next inhale arises, begin to tippy-toe or walk the feet all the way up to the hands. If you need to bend the knees to get there, walk the hands back to you, feel free to do so. Arrive with the feet about hips distance apart and then rise up halfway. We're going to hang heavy in a forward fold. So on your exhale, drape the body forward and let yourself hang like a rag doll. So your choice, you can add a deep bend to the knees or just a moderate one, but we're going for a stretch more so and a release along the spine and back body than the back sides of the legs. So add a bend to the legs so you kind of feel that transition from the stretch in the legs to more opening up the back body here. Hands can dangle in the air. You can wrap them around opposite elbows, whatever feels good. If you want to bind them around the ankles or the toes. Relax the back of the neck, so let the head hang heavy. Crown of the head works towards the ground. Relax the jaw, soften the shoulders. Again, let yourself just be pulled down by gravity. So melt forward and down. And breathe as deep as you can here. So inhales, really expand along the back body. Exhales, allow you to surrender towards the ground. Couple more big breaths here. Notice what you feel and just let yourself be with it. All right, if your arms are bound, gently release them down. And whenever your next inhale arises, rise up halfway and pull the heart forward. On the exhale, simply step the feet back to plank pose, and then your choice. Maybe you make your way to a child's pose for a couple breaths. Maybe you sit up on the heels. Find a reset posture that works in your body. Feel free to go anywhere that feels good, even if that means laying on your belly or your back. And take a couple moments to just be there. To take some big breaths, to notice how your body is feeling throughout practice tonight, how your mind is. Let yourself just be as you are. All right, and as you are here, feel free to listen to my voice or take a look on the screen as I go through those postures for us one more time. So this flow, we started with 2 seated postures. We started with Shavasana. So we brought the foot in towards the inside of the thigh. And it was your choice whether you wanted to keep in the traditional classic version of the inside of the thigh aligned with the outside edge of the foot, or maybe pivoting, toes coming onto the ground, heel coming up, knee coming back down. Either way, we made our way towards Janu, and then we made our way to a twist. So set the foot down, wrap the arm around, and this time, hand was up off the ground to really ignite the core and the back body a little bit more. So same thing on the other side, Janu to the twist, and then we swung our legs back behind us, made our way to downward facing dog. So we paused there, just kind of working into the body, opening up the backs of the legs, breathing deeply. Eventually, we walked our feet up and made our way to a forward fold. So the feet were hips distance, and then rather than really exaggerating the stretch on the backs of the legs, maybe we bend the knees and found our way to where we felt more of a sensation in the back body and a release there. Pause here for however long it feels good for you, and eventually made our way to our reset posture. Maybe that's something like child's pose, maybe that's just laying on the mat, whatever feels good for you. So again, it was the Janu Shavasana to the twist on each side, and then from there, down dog, forward fold at the top of your mat, and then whatever reset rest posture feels good for you. So take your time, explore the flow. Again, feel free to do whatever works in your body tonight. If you want to move on to something totally different, please do so. This time is for you, so honor what feels best for you. And again, I'll be here with you throughout the next couple moments that you take with your flow. And if it feels good for you, whichever shapes you make, really try to exaggerate or feel the breath in the back body. Sometimes it even takes pausing briefly after the inhales to feel almost that balloon effect opening up the back body, the area around the spine. So play around with the breath. Notice how you can open your body from within, if you will. Feel the inhales and exhales ripple throughout the body. Again, and allow yourself to simply be with yourself as you are, feeling the breath flow in and out, and letting yourself feel into the shapes you make in your body. Wherever you're at, notice where your mind is right now. What are you thinking about? Are you here feeling into the breath and the body in this very moment? If so, stay right where you are. If your mind has taken you elsewhere onto any types of patterns of thinking, maybe it's things that happened today or things that you're expecting in the future. Maybe you're noticing sounds around you or things within you. Notice what the mind does when it's left to its own vices, and simply become aware. We are here to get to know ourselves better, to observe, to be with ourselves. So once you become aware, once you find that moment of enlightenment, of awakening, when you notice what's happening, then you decide. Do you stay within the matters of the mind? Or do you come back to here and now, the present moment? If you come back, you find your way by feeling the body, by feeling the breath. Finding your way to something happening here and now, in real time and real space, and letting yourself reside there until the mind begins to think again. Let go of judgment and find self-compassion within, for this is a practice. And rather than being here to shut off the mind, we're simply here to be with ourselves as we are, and practice coming back. Notice wherever you are how you can soften further, how you can surrender to whatever shape you are in. How can you soften the edges of your body, soften your mind, release any sort of resistance to the body, to the mind, to here and now. Let yourself just be, surrendering fully. Notice where your mind is at. If someone were to ask you the question, what are you thinking about right now? What would you answer? Really try to make yourself answer the question. Become aware. When you're ready, reconnect with the feeling of the breath. Feeling into the full extent of the inhales and exhales. Breathing through the back body. Allowing yourself to simply be here and now. Whenever you complete your flow, either continue to find postures that intuitively feel good within. Maybe you rest or find a posture to simply feel the breath in. Take the next couple of moments once you finish your flow to observe, to be, to notice the state of your mind and body so far, and to reconnect with your intention, your why for practicing today, and to send your energy towards that. For our final flow of class, we will eventually meet up laying on our bellies. So if you want to take a couple moments to, again, find your own way to transition, feel free to do so. When you're ready, we'll meet up resting on our bellies on the mat. So again, take all the time you need. We'll pause once we get there for a couple moments. And once you are resting on your belly, maybe you make a little pillow, stacking the hands, and allow your head to rest. Maybe you feel the breath in the belly as you breathe in and out, possibly along the back. Let yourself use the ground beneath you as feedback on how to feel into the inhales and exhales. Relax into it. Let everything go. On your next inhale, gently lift the head up off the hands and bring the elbows so they're directly under the shoulders. So there will be a 90-degree bend in the arms, elbows under shoulders, and then the forearms extended out with the hands flat on the ground. We're going to do a little bit of work in bow pose here. So to start, pivot the left hand so it's directly in front of the face. It'll be about a 45-degree kind of bend to the elbow. And we're going to start with half bow. So on your next inhale, so big exhale, inhale, bend the right knee, flex the foot so the foot's parallel towards the ceiling above you. So if this feels like enough, you're actually going to stay right here, working on pulling the chest forward, low belly pulls in, pelvis presses down. If you want to reach back for the bind, on your next inhale, hand will come back and maybe you grasp around the ankle. So find if this works in your body. Maybe you just reach back. Maybe there's not a bind there. And we'll breathe deeply. As you're here, try to shine both of the shoulders to be parallel with the front of your mat, the front of your room, rather than opening up and kind of opening towards the right-hand side. Keep pressing the thigh down, kicking the foot, the ankle into the hand. Breathe deeply, relax the jaw. Let's take one more big breath here. Great job. Exhale, release the bind. Hands come back to the ground, foot lowers. Pivot, so right hand in front of the face now, angling inwards. Pause here, inhale. Maybe you bend the knee, flex the foot. If this is enough, you stay right here. Maybe you begin to reach on back. Maybe you find the bind. If you do so, again, shoulders parallel with the front edge of your mat as you kick the foot back. Press the thigh down towards the ground, Breathe deeply, low belly pulls in. Couple more big breaths, you got it. This is half bow pose. One more big breath. Beautiful. On your exhale, find your way on out. Bring the hands down, and maybe you rest for a moment, placing the hands or the head on the hands. You can rock the hips side to side, relieving the low back slightly. Breathe to the low back. All right, if those felt like a deep enough back bend for you, you're going to stay right as you were. We are going to work to full bow pose next. So if that was enough in your low back today, just do half on each side. If you want to work towards full, you're going to bring the hands by your side, and you can place the forehead down on the ground. On an inhale, bend both the knees and flex the feet. Now as we're here, we're going to try to keep the thighs pressing towards the mat. So we're going to resist the lift of the knees off the ground. Exhale. Inhale, maybe you reach back and grab around the ankles. Exhale. And then on your next inhale, you'll begin to kick the feet back, opening up the heart. Now notice, for this version, I'm not really lifting my knees up like here. I'm trying to keep my thighs pressing down, knees pressed down, and just kick my ankles into the hands. Should feel a nice opening in the thoracic area. Relax the jaw, a couple more big breaths, keep kicking back. One more big breath. Alrighty, exhale, slowly lower on out, release the bind, and this time you can rest the cheek down on the mat. Maybe you kind of wiggle those hips side to side, releasing the low back slightly. All right, so for our next version, you can either do what we just did, you can do the half bow pose if that's working better for you. Our final version, we're going to almost make like mermaid legs, so we're gonna press the legs together, keeping them kind of the knees pressing in towards each other like we have a fin behind us, if you will. So if you're coming to the last version with me, kind of inch your legs closer together like you want to Velcro them together. So you'll press the thighs, press the knees, press the feet towards each other, towards the midline of the mat. And then on your inhale, we'll bend the knees and flex the feet. So if you notice, my legs are kind of pressing against each other here. Exhale. If you're coming into this version, same thing. You're going to grasp the hands around the ankles, and then on your next inhale, kick the feet back. Maybe the knees lift up slightly, but we're focusing on really pressing the legs in towards each other, like creating like a little mermaid fin behind us. Couple big breaths here, legs are working. Two more breaths. One more. And on your exhale, make your way on out. This time you can keep the knees bent, feet up towards the ceiling, and maybe you allow the legs to drop side to side. Breathe deeply. Notice what you feel. When you're ready, legs can come back down to the mat and rest for a couple breaths. As a recap, we started this flow with half bow pose. So we brought the elbows directly under the shoulders, pivoted a hand in towards us, and then reached back for that half bind. Shoulders stayed pressing forward towards the front of the mat. We did that on each side. From there, we came down, we rested for a moment or two, maybe wiggled those hips side to side. And then our first version of bow pose was keeping the thighs pressing down towards the ground. So we wrapped behind, knees, thighs continue to press down, really opening the thoracic spine, the area around the chest. Then we came back down and rested for a moment. Our option B was making like a mermaid fin behind us, pressing the legs in towards each other, and then lifting up one more time. So came on up, lifted up, couple big breaths, and came back down. That time after we rested, we allowed the legs to kind of windshield wiper side to side. So that's our final flow of class, half bow pose on each side, and then two options for bow pose. Again, you can choose to do all, do some, to incorporate any other type of back bends in there if that's what you want to move towards right now. One thing that I do ask is complete all your back bends before you move to some sort of forward fold. So after you're done with all the bow poses or back bends that you're doing, then make your way to either a nice child's pose with the knees together, so we're opening up the low back there, or full forward fold, maybe both, really reaching the feet out and then working the heart forward and the rib cage towards the legs. So find what works in your body. Feel free to play around with that flow, and then we'll meet up for the closing of class. So take your time, stay with the breath, breathing deeply throughout every posture. And in these back bends, really try to equalize the breath, to breathe deeply when we're on our bellies and working the chest up. Sometimes it can feel like we're constricting the breath. So really try to stay with some big inhales and exhales. And listen to your body. If anything feels like pinching or too much in the low back, continue to pull the low belly in towards the spine. And if that's still too much, then come out a bit. We don't want to go too far. Find what works in your body and honor where you're at today, not where your mind wants you to be. Again, stay with your breath, feeling in the body and every shape you make. Let everything else go. Honor your why. Honor the reason you're here tonight. Can soften anything above the shoulders. So soften the shoulders, relax the neck, relax the jaw, soften the gaze, stay light in that upper region as you work through the back and the legs. Breathe deeply, continue to feel into the body wherever you're at, letting everything else go. And again, whenever you complete your back bends, again, you have all the time you need, please move to a child's pose, a forward fold, anything to find a nice release in the lower back. And take a decent amount of time there, sending the inhales to the low back, the exhales release from the same area, finding a nice open back body. Wherever you're at, continue to feel into every inhale and exhale. Try to feel every moment the stage of the inhale and the exhale that you are in. Really bring your mind to the body to feel the full extent, every detail of the breath. Whenever you complete the flow, we will eventually meet up laying on our back bodies, preparing for Shavasana. So if there's any stretches, postures, shapes, doesn't have to be a quote-unquote real yoga posture, just find what feels good in your body before you make your way to laying down. Again, take all the time you need, but we will eventually meet up resting on our back bodies. And once you make your way to lying down, if you so choose to go there, take a couple moments to let your body rest, to notice how you feel after the back bends, after all the postures that you did today. If you'd like to join me for the closing of class, we'll meet up hugging the knees in towards the chest, wrapping the arms around the legs, coming into Apanasana, knees to chest pose, just like we did at the beginning of class. And maybe you add a gentle rock side to side. This time as you rock, possibly pressing the low back towards the mat, giving yourself a little low back massage. Maybe the eyes are open or closed, whatever feels good for you right now. And we'll eventually make our way to a nice, easy twist. On an exhale, allow the arms to come to a T shape and the knees to drop over toward the left hand side. Pause here. Maybe the left hand comes to the outside of the right leg. Possibly send the gaze over the right hand, or the left hand, comes to the outside of the right leg. Look over the right hand. Breathe to the right rib cage, the right lung. Notice what you feel in the right side body. Let yourself decompress and unwind physically, mentally, emotionally. One more big breath on this side. Whenever your next inhale arises, gently bring the knees back up to center and follow your exhale to drop the legs over to the right hand side. Once you get there, find the variation that works for you, whether that means placing the right hand on the outside of the legs, sending the gaze over the left hand. Again, just find what feels nice and relaxing, easy in your body. Pause there for a couple moments, bringing your mind's eye to the left side body, feeling the breath in that area. Breathe to the left side, the left lung. Feel the rib cage expand and lift on the inhales. And on the exhale, soften and lower. Take a couple more big breaths here, letting everything go. And whenever your next inhale arises, gently bring your knees back up to center. Exhale, maybe you give yourself just a gentle hug one more time, wrapping the arms around the legs. If there's any last posture you'd wish to take before Shavasana, please take the time to take it now. If and when you're ready for Shavasana, find a gentle resting posture, extending the legs, the arms by your sides. And eventually make your way to that cozy resting position. Once you get there, gently draw the eyes closed. Take a moment to puff up the chest, inch the shoulders down the back body, and then set the shoulder blades back down, creating space around the neck and the ears. And allow your body to rest towards the ground beneath you. Begin to invite in
a soft, easy, a relaxing state to your mind, to your body, to the space all around and within you. Begin to soften your body even further, starting by relaxing the crown of the head. Soften your forehead, relax the eyebrows, soften the eyelids as the eyes sink back towards the skull. Relax your temples, soften the cheekbones, relax the jaw. As you soften the lips, the teeth may part. As the tongue floats down away from the roof of your mouth, relax the mouth. Soften your ears and relax the back of your head, softening the scalp and every follicle of hair. Allow the back of the neck to melt down, softening the sides, the front, opening the throat. Melt the shoulders towards the ground beneath you, softening the collarbones. Relax the upper arms and the elbows. Soften the lower arms and the wrists. Relax the palms and allow the fingers to naturally curl inwards as you soften the backs of your hands as well. Relax your chest, the space around your heart. Soften the rib cage and relax your belly. Soften the right side of your torso. Relax the left side. Beginning at the base of your neck, soften every vertebra down towards the ground beneath you, relaxing all the back muscles as you work down the spine. Relax the lower back, the sacrum. Soften the glutes, the hips. Relax the pelvic area. Soften your thighs, the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings. Relax your knees. Soften the calves and the shins on the lower leg. Relax your ankles as you soften the tops of the feet, relaxing every toe. Soften the heels of the feet, the arches, and the balls of the feet, relaxing completely. Allow this state, the soft state of your body, to translate to your mind. Melt the mind away. Visualize it, just kind of getting ooey gooey, softening, spacious, drifting away. For the next couple of moments, allow yourself to continue to relax further and further and drift off into this easy state. Gently begin to invite the awareness back into your body. Maybe you deepen the breath, possibly adding wiggles to the toes, to the fingers, to the wrists and ankles. Only when you feel ready to move, gently roll over to either side and pause there to rest in a fetal position. Take all the time that you need. Again, only when you feel ready to move, gently press yourself all the way up to seated, keeping the eyes softly closed as you transition. And take your time. We'll eventually meet up in a seated posture with the eyes closed and palms touching at heart center. Take a couple of moments to consciously observe how you feel right now. Notice how your mind, your headspace feels. What word describes the state of your mind right now? Just allow the first word that comes to you to be that word. Notice your body. Let yourself feel the body. What word describes how the body feels right now? And tune into your emotional well-being. What emotion do you feel right in this moment? And take a moment to give yourself a nice smile and reconnect with your intention, your reason for practicing tonight. Imagine sending your beautiful energy towards that why. And really, really thank yourself for showing up here this evening, for dedicating your time to your health, your life, your well-being and practice. And thank you so very much for sharing your beautiful energy and practice with me and everybody else who showed up here tonight. The light in me truly honors the light in you. Namaste.